What if I told you the fastest way to blow up your account isn't fear, it's confidence? Not bad trades and not even bad strategy. Confidence. Sounds crazy, right? But think about it. How many times have you had a big win, felt invincible, and then proceeded to give it all back in just a few reckless trades? You didn't lose not because you didn't know how to trade, but because your ego convinced you that the rules didn't apply to you anymore. This is the same trap that destroys even billion-dollar hedge funds. Remember Victor Niederhofer? One of the greatest traders of his era. Wiped out because he believed he was too smart to follow his own risk limits. Ego kills traders. Every single time. Here's the harsh truth. The moment you think you've mastered the market is the moment it will humble you. Your ego wants excitement, control, and glory. But the top 1%, the traders who survive for decades, know a secret. Success in trading isn't about being right. It's about staying humble enough to follow your rules no matter what. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the exact rituals the best traders in the world use to keep their ego in check and keep their money in their account. If you've ever blown up after a winning streak, this will hit you hard. I'll never forget the first time my ego cost me thousands. I had just hit one of the best trades of my life. Perfect entry, massive move, picture perfect exit. My P&L was glowing green and I felt unstoppable. Finally, I thought, I'm not like other traders. I've cracked this game. So, what did I do next? I sized up. Took trades I'd normally avoid. Doubled down on setups I barely analyzed. And within 48 hours, I'd given back every dollar of that win and more. Sound familiar? If you've ever felt that surge of invincibility after a winning streak, you know how fast it turns into disaster. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You don't lose your account because of fear. You lose it because of overconfidence. This isn't just psychology, it's biology. Neuroscience studies show that after big wins, dopamine floods your system, making you feel euphoric and invincible. But that same dopamine shuts down risk assessment in your prefrontal cortex. You literally become worse at judging danger. The top 1% of traders know this. That's why they build rituals to kill their ego before it kills their account. Because the market doesn't care how smart you are, how great your last trade was, or how confident you feel. The moment you stop respecting risk, it humbles you, brutally. By the end of this video, you'll learn the science behind why big wins secretly make you trade worse. The hidden ego traps that even experienced traders fall into. 5 powerful rituals that the top 1% use to stay humble and consistent, no matter how big their last win was. And make sure you stick around until the last ritual. Because it's so effective that one hedge fund manager literally calls it his career insurance policy. Quick question before we dive in. What's the biggest streak you've ever had? And how much of it did you give back afterward? Be honest. Drop your answer in the comments. Awareness is the first step to killing your ego before it kills you. Because here's the reality. You can't control the market, but you can control the trader you bring to it. And staying humble is the only way to win long term. The winner's high. Why success turns you into your own worst enemy. There's nothing more dangerous in trading than a big win. Sounds counterintuitive, right? But think about your worst blowups. How many of them happened right after you had a great day, a big breakout win, or a perfect streak? Probably most of them. That's not bad luck. That's biology sabotaging you. Here's what happens. After a huge win, your brain releases an intense flood of dopamine, the same neurochemical that gamblers get when they hit a jackpot or addicts feel after a drug hit. Dopamine doesn't just make you feel good, it changes how you think. According to research from Northwestern University, high dopamine levels impair your prefrontal cortex, reducing your ability to evaluate risk by as much as 40% for up to 72 hours. This is why you suddenly feel invincible. You convince yourself you're in the zone, that you've cracked the market's code. You stop following your checklist. You size up recklessly. You enter trades you wouldn't even glance at on a normal day. It's not that you've become smarter after your win, it's that you've literally become worse at assessing danger. One trader I coached made $12,000 in a single morning on a clean breakout. He felt unstoppable and doubled his size on the very next trade without analyzing it properly. By the end of the day, not only had he lost the $12,000, but he was down $8,000 on top of it. He didn't just lose money, he lost control. And it wasn't because he didn't know how to trade, it was because his brain was drunk on dopamine. Professional traders know this all too well, which is why they build strict rituals to cool down after a big win. Paul Tudor Jones famously calls this doping off. After any major gain, he cuts his position size in half for at least 3 days. Why? Because he doesn't trust his brain while it's high on success. Ritual number 1, the cooldown rule. Every time you hit a major win, write this rule on your screen. Big win is half size for 72 hours. No exceptions. If you can't reduce size, you don't trade at all. You need to give your logical brain time to recover before risking more capital. Here's the mental shift that will save you. A big win is not permission to be aggressive. It's a warning sign to slow down. Treat big wins like dangerous animals. Admire them, respect them, but keep your distance until you're calm again. Because in trading, your biggest wins don't just grow your account. They also set the trap that can destroy it. The mirror check, confronting your ego before it trades. Ego doesn't shout, it whispers. It tells you, you're better than this market. You're smarter than those losing traders. You've got this figured out. And that tiny whisper is the most dangerous sound in trading. Because the moment you believe it, you stop following your rules and start trading for validation instead of profit. Think about it. How many times have you broken your risk rules not because the setup changed, but because you felt you deserved a bigger win? That's not logic, that's ego. And ego doesn't care about your account. It only cares about feeding itself. Neuroscientists have shown that feelings of superiority trigger the same dopamine pathways as winning trades. That means simply believing you're better than the market makes you more likely to take reckless risks. Your brain literally rewards you for your arrogance. The top 1% of traders understand this, which is why they build rituals to keep their ego in check before they even click buy. One of the simplest and most powerful is what I call the mirror check. Ritual number 2, the mirror check. Before entering any trade, pause and ask yourself this brutal question. If this trade fails, will I still respect how I took it? If your honest answer is no, you're not trading your plan. You're trading your ego. You skipped the trade. Period. To make this even more powerful, some traders literally keep a small mirror on their desk. Before every trade, they look themselves in the eye and say, "This trade does not define me. My discipline does." Sounds silly? Maybe, but try it once. Looking yourself in the eye while about to break your rules is almost impossible. One trader I worked with adopted this ritual and cut his impulsive trades by 70% in a month. Why? Because every time he faced that mirror, he had to confront whether he was acting like a professional or a gambler. Here's the truth. Your ego wants to be right. Your account wants you to be disciplined. Only one of them can win, and the mirror check ensures you to choose the account every single time. The humility journal, documenting your stupidity. Most traders hate journaling because it forces them to look at the one thing their ego despises, the truth. It's easy to review winning trades and pat yourself on the back. But when's the last time you wrote down, in painful detail, the exact moment you acted like an idiot? The top 1% do this weekly. They don't just track entries, exits, and setups. They keep what I call a humility journal. It's a log of every ego-driven decision they've made, no matter how embarrassing. One hedge fund trader I spoke with even titled his section, "Trades I Took Because I Thought I Was a Genius." He reads it every Friday, not to shame himself, but to remind himself that confidence kills faster than fear. Why is this so powerful? Because ego thrives on forgetfulness. If you don't write it down, your brain conveniently edits the story. That oversized revenge trade, in your head, it becomes, "I was just being aggressive." That FOMO entry, "It was a decent setup." But when you see it written in black and white, "I sized up because I felt invincible after yesterday's win." There's no escaping the truth. Ritual number 3, weekly ego review. Here's how to do it. 1. At the end of each week, Review every trade and ask, was this decision based on logic or ego? 2. Write the ego trades in a separate section labeled Humility Journal. Include what you felt, what you did wrong, and what you should have done instead. 3. Read this section every Monday before you start trading. Nothing humbles you faster than staring at your own stupidity. One of my coaching clients hated this exercise at first, but after 3 weeks, he noticed something incredible. He was making fewer and fewer ego-driven trades. Why? Because writing them down created pain, and humans naturally avoid pain. Here's the hard truth. You can lie to yourself in the moment, but you can't lie to a journal. The humility journal forces you to face the trader you don't want to admit you are, and once you face him, you can finally beat him. The public accountability hack: exposing your ego before it blows up your account. Ego loves secrecy. It thrives when no one is watching because there's no one to call you out when you break your rules. But here's the thing. Ego hates embarrassment more than it loves risk. And you can use that to your advantage. Top traders know this, which is why they build systems of accountability that make it nearly impossible to trade recklessly. At one prop firm I studied, traders had to announce every trade idea to the entire desk before placing it. Not because the firm cared about their reasoning, but because saying it out loud forced them to slow down and think, nobody wants to sound like an idiot in front of other professionals. Retail traders can replicate this same effect through what I call the public accountability hack. Ritual number 4, share before you click. Before placing a trade, you send your full reasoning. Setup, risk, stop loss, and target to someone you trust. This can be a trading buddy, a mentor, or even a small online group. Just knowing that another human will see your logic forces your ego to back down. You won't size up recklessly or skip analysis when someone else is about to read it. One of my students started doing this with a trading partner. Every time he wanted to take a trade, he had to message, here's the setup, here's why I like it, here's where I'm wrong. Within 2 weeks, he realized half the trades he wanted to take sounded ridiculous once he wrote them down. He cut his overtrading by 60%. If you don't have a trading buddy, post your setups publicly. There are traders who tweet their trades before entering, not for likes, but to create instant accountability. Because when hundreds of eyes are watching, you think twice before taking a stupid, ego-driven setup. Here's the harsh reality. Ego loves isolation. As long as you trade in private, you can rationalize every bad decision. But the second you bring someone else into the process, the mask comes off. Public exposure forces you to trade like the disciplined version of yourself, the one you claim you want to be. The reset ritual: staying a student, not a genius. The biggest ego trap in trading isn't arrogance after a single big win. It's the slow, creeping belief that you've mastered the market. That's when traders stop reviewing basics, stop journaling carefully, and start skipping the very rules that made them successful in the first place. And every time, the market punishes them for it. The best traders in the world fight this by staying students, even decades into their careers. Linda Raschke, one of the greatest traders alive, starts every Monday morning by reviewing her basic setups as if she were a beginner. She says, "The day I think I know it all is the day the market takes it all back." This humility isn't just philosophy, it's a survival strategy. The brain loves patterns, and once you've had a string of wins, your confidence tricks you into believing you're smarter than the market. But the market isn't a puzzle you solve once. It's a constantly changing battlefield. The moment you stop respecting it, it humbles you. Ritual number 5, Beginner's Mind Monday. Once a week, dedicate time to resetting your mindset. Here's how. 1. Review the basics. Go over your core setups, risk rules, and journaling habits. Ask yourself, am I actually following these or just assuming I am because I feel experienced? 2. Mark a fresh start. Physically clear your charts, delete old annotations, and approach the week as if you're trading for the first time. 3. Ask the humility question. If I lost all my confidence overnight, how would I trade today? Write the answer down before your session. One trader I worked with started doing this ritual every Monday. Within a month, he noticed something shocking. His win rate didn't skyrocket, but his consistency did. Why? Because the ritual stripped away the arrogance that made him chase trades that weren't truly in his playbook. Here's the truth. The market will always test you. You can either humble yourself first, or it will do it for you, and it's far more brutal when it does. Staying a student isn't weakness. It's how the top 1% stay in the game while everyone else blows up. Climax. Take a moment and think about the last time you felt untouchable in the market. Maybe it was after a huge win or a streak of perfect trades. Remember how good it felt? That surge of pride? That voice in your head whispering, "You figured this out. You're different. You're better than the rest." And then, remember what happened next. If you're like most traders, that feeling of invincibility didn't last long. The market humbled you. Maybe it was a slow bleed of overconfident trades. Maybe one massive blowup that wiped out weeks or months of gains. Whatever it was, the market reminded you of one simple truth. Ego kills traders faster than fear ever will. Here's why this moment matters. The market doesn't punish you for being wrong. It punishes you for thinking you can't be wrong. Every trader who's blown up an account shares the same story. They stopped following their rules, stopped respecting risk, and started believing they were smarter than the game. The moment you stop being humble, you stop being a trader and you become the market's liquidity. The top 1% know this, which is why they build their entire careers around rituals that keep their ego in check. Paul Tudor Jones doesn't cut his size after big wins because he lacks confidence. He does it because he knows confidence is dangerous. Linda Raschke doesn't review her basic setups every Monday because she's a beginner. She does it because she never wants to stop thinking like a beginner. That humility isn't optional, it's survival. Think about what staying humble really means. It means admitting every single day that you can be wrong. It means treating every trade like it could be your first or your last. It means choosing discipline over glory, process over pride. And it's the only way to survive long enough to win consistently. So here's the decision point. Will you keep letting your ego drive the mouse, or will you kill it before it kills you? Picture yourself 6 months from now. Are you still chasing trades you feel good about, sizing up after a win, ignoring your own rules? Or are you calm, patient, and methodical trading like a professional who respects the market every single time? The answer determines everything. Because in trading, you can either humble yourself now, or the market will do it for you. And when the market humbles you, it takes your money with it. Let's wrap this up. Because if you take this message seriously, it could change your entire trading career. Here's what we uncovered. Ego kills faster than fear. Big wins, streaks, and overconfidence trick your brain into taking reckless trades. The top 1% stay humble on purpose. Paul Tudor Jones cuts size after wins. Linda Raschke reviews basics weekly, and prop traders force themselves to reset after losses. Humility is a system, not a feeling. The rituals you follow when you're winning are what keep you from losing it all. If you take nothing else from this video, take this. You are never smarter than the market. The moment you think you are, it will take everything from you. Staying humble isn't weakness. It's the only edge that lasts. So here's what I want you to do right now. 1. Comment below. What's the dumbest trade you've ever taken because of overconfidence? Write it out. Admitting it publicly is your first ego-killing step. 2. Like this video if it hit you hard today, not for me, but as a reminder to yourself that humility is now part of your edge. 3. Subscribe if you want more psychology-driven trading breakdowns. We don't just talk charts here, we rewire the trader behind the screen. And if you're serious about mastering this game, don't miss the next video. The dopamine detox. Rewiring your brain to trade without emotion. It's going to show you how to remove the emotional highs and lows that feed ego in the first place. I'll leave you with this final thought. Every trade you take is either feeding your ego or feeding your discipline. One destroys accounts, one builds wealth. Which one are you choosing? Thanks for watching, and as always, discipline is your edge.